everyone, welcome to Eden Secret. You have given me the courage to actually get on camera a bit more. All of your encouraging words in my Christmas Day video and my beauty video have definitely given me the courage to do this, and so from now on I am actually going to do a little bit more on screen just for you because you seem to like seeing me. So here I am today, it's New Year's Eve, and I've got my Scotch Disney ears on, my Scotch tartan Disney ears on. We don't actually live that far away from the Scottish border. I'm guessing probably about 20 miles as the crow flies. And in Scotland, New Year is bigger than Christmas, I presume. At least that's what I've always been told anyway. So I thought for New Year's Eve we would put on some Scottish tartan ears. I don't know if they're any particular kind of tartan, but I guess we could call them Disney tartan, couldn't we? So what we're doing today is I'm actually going to make Gordon Ramsay's beef Wellington. I've never made it before, but when we went to Grantley Hall we got beef Wellington and it really was much better than I expected. And so from that moment I thought I'm actually going to have a try and make beef Wellington for, I was going to make it for Christmas dinner, but you have so much food on Christmas Day. Fitting a beef Wellington in, I would have had to have turkey as well, because turkey, that's the only time we really have turkey throughout the year is Christmas Day, and then it just makes it really, really special. And I thought if I make a beef Wellington, it probably won't, well, both won't get eaten. We did end up with some scraps of turkey, well, probably a good heaped plateful of turkey left over this year that actually got thrown out, which is a shame because I hate wasting food, but we do seem to waste a lot of food these days, and I really don't want to do that. So going forward into 2022 I'm determined to waste a lot less food. So what we need for a beef Wellington, and the main ingredient in a beef Wellington, is a fillet steak. Now I got my fillet steak is from Cranston's, my local butchers, and it's excellent quality meat there. You can't fault it. It's all straight from the cow or straight from the sheep or straight from the pig, that kind of thing. It's not pumped with anything, it's not got water added or anything else added to it. It's local good meat and it's excellent quality. And usually their fillet steaks are really, really tender. So I bought, weight wise, it's about 440 grams, £21.34 for the joint of meat. I haven't got a great big one, so it's probably about, it could be like 8 inches perhaps, the length of the steak. So I need to prepare that, and we also need for beef Wellington prosciutto. So bought 4 of these. They weren't a bad price actually. I got 4 of these from Sainsbury's. They were 85p each, and I bought 4 just because I want to make sure that I'm not left short. So I've got 4 of those. I've got 2 packs of close cup chestnut mushrooms, and I actually really like Aldi pastry. I don't shop in Aldi much, but I do think their pastry is really, really good. It's more buttery than the Just roll. Now I do have a Just roll here as well, puff pastry, but I bought 2 ready rolled puff pastries from Aldi. I'm a little concerned that these rolls might not be big enough, and if I have to join them in the centre, it's just going to create a weak spot, because we need to wrap, well, what we do is the fillet steak gets wrapped in mushrooms, it gets wrapped in prosciutto, and then it gets wrapped in pastry and baked. But there's a whole routine that goes into doing that. So what we're going to start off with first is we're going to chop all of our mushrooms up, and we're going to blend them in the blender just to make them really small, and then we're going to cook them on a very low heat. It says, I was watching Alvin's video, not Gordon's, because there's not a lot of information in Gordon's video on YouTube. I'll link both of the videos that I watched down in the description below. Gordon actually put roast chestnuts in his. I'm not going to be doing that. Alvin actually put shallots in his mushrooms and fried them, but he seemed to fry his for that long. Everything looked black, so I don't know whether it was burnt. I'm sure it wasn't. It was probably perfect, because he is an absolute perfectionist and really quite funny as well. I like watching his videos. Really soothing ASMR videos. Really, really nice. And we also need some Dijon mustard as well for the beef Wellington. So let's get started and see if I can make a good job of this or not. So I'm just going to add two onions. So it's into the mushroom mix. Onion makes everything taste better. I know I said the other day turnip was my favourite vegetable, but really onion is. And some people actually don't like onions. Oh well, that went well, didn't it? That is what you don't do with a Vitamix. You always put the lid on before you try to squash things down with a squasher. Big mistake. It's took me half an hour to clear it up. I even got some on my remote control. Anyway, now it's time to sear that beautiful piece of fillet.
Fairly hot.
Fairly hot, yeah.
I need to put pan up and put it like that.
I just did that.
Yeah.
I just did that.
It's a little bit of a whack with a piece of meat, isn't it?
It's big enough.
There's a one each.
One slice each. How many do you want, Mike? For 2 slices each, it would have been 40 quid.
It doesn't seem so big, does it?
Well, there's another piece of fillet in there.
Is that going to be plenty?
Shall I do the other piece? It's a smaller piece though.
No, I'll just have second.
Okay, so John and Declan didn't think this piece is big enough for all of us. That's 5 of us. So I was thinking just a slice each. Luckily, I bought a fillet tail. So what we've got is, I want mine medium rare. Declan will want his medium rare. John's having to have his medium rare. But John's mum and dad will want theirs very well done. So I thought I was going to join the two together somehow, and then I thought, well, I could make 2. So just use this as a thinner one, put them both in the oven at the same time for the same length of time, and they'll get theirs well done and we'll get ours just right, if we are lucky. So now it's at time to smother the steak in Dijon mustard.
What's that?
It's just mustard. It's like your yellow mustard, but probably not as strong.
Are you going to put Coleman's on?
Not now.
It isn't funny.
You're supposed to put Dijon mustard on it.
Right.
It tastes fine. It tastes similar to that Coleman's, but I think maybe it's a little bit more mellow. I might have put a bit too much on. So the mushrooms are boiling away, and there is a lot of water coming out of them. So putting this Dijon mustard on just gives it like extra flavour. And then what we're going to do is, I think, didn't he wrap it, once it was mustard, he wrapped it in the cling film, put it in the oven, in the fridge for 15 minutes, didn't he?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. I wonder how Gordon got a perfectly beautiful round piece of fillet, and mine's fat on one end and thin on the other. Any idea?
Well, I don't know, like squashed
I mean, he did this,
squashed
but
it tight, didn't he?
he's bought a special piece, hasn't he? That's the perfect shape.
It doesn't have to be perfect, does it?
He did that, didn't he? Oh, he did that. It's making a little bit of a difference, isn't it? It's making it look smaller.
It's like a black pudding now.
Eh? Anybody know what black pudding is? Right, so what?
You're going to have your work cut out.
It's tiny.
You're going to have your work cut out with that and they make it round.
I think we're going to be hungry. Right, so that's
well,
that
you said
one.
it was alright. 10 minutes to go.
I feel like I need to go to Cranston's and get a
No, you're not going to Cranston's making 50 quid on me.
40 quid piece of fillet.
Don't think so.
This is the little piece, the skinny piece, for those who like their meat well done. Just hope they don't look at ours and think, well, I want some of theirs. I wonder who invented beef Wellington. Ask Siri, John.
Hey Siri,
I think this might work.
who invented beef Wellington?
Do you think it might be someone called Wellington?
Invented beef Wellington. Check it out.
It's rubbish, Siri.
He's rubbish.
Absolutely.
Is he not giving you an
I
answer?
can't tell you anything without going
He's
on the
useless,
web.
isn't he? Yeah. Yeah, well, we could look it up on the web, couldn't we? Right. Actually, that's worked quite well. So now these apparently need to go in the fridge for 15 minutes. But okay, so to go with a beautiful beef Wellington, we need some accompaniments, don't we?
Makes I love thee, Lord Jesus. Look down from the sky and stay by my cradle till morning this night. Hey, oh, oh, oh.
Actually, I'm thinking these sweet potatoes are a beautiful size. And they probably will look really nice whole. So they're a gorgeous colour. So I'm just going to peel them and roast them as they are.
Believe me, Lord Jesus, I ask thee to stay close by me forever and love me, I pray. Bless all the children in thy tender care and take us to heaven to live with thee there. Away in a manger, no crib for a bed. The little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep in the hay. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Ended up, did take 2 hours to boil all the water out of those mushrooms, by the way. So you definitely need to start this on a morning if you're going to make it. You've got to be careful with this prosciutto, haven't you? Ah, I see. There's a plastic layer in between each one. That must be to make it easier. to peel off. Yes. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. I did tell you it's the first time I've ever done this. Would have been easier to do it that way, wouldn't it? Put the pressure shutter on. I am definitely going to need 4 packs, that's for sure. Up in is it a Ninja? A magic bullet. So we're gonna need probably just half it there. I'm not actually a lover of mushrooms, but I can't remember even tasting mushroom when we went to Grantley Hall. I think I'll just get the video up because I can't remember how far they spread that mushroom up, whether they took it right to the edge or just inside the edge or what. Now I'd love to be able to show you the video I'm watching, but I'll actually lose copyright on my video if I use a clip from anyone else's video. So what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description box to the 2 videos that I'm watching. The one that Gordon is doing, his is the Christmas version of his beef Wellington. So in this mixture he's actually put roast chestnuts in there, and he doesn't take the, he hasn't took the mushroom paste all the way to the edge. Now what I noticed looking at his does look drier than mine, but I'm thinking that might just be because his has maybe been in the fridge overnight and I've just waited for mine to cool down, and as soon as it's cool I'm spreading it. So I hope it's not too moist, because that'll make my pastry moist. So I wonder if this has kept its round shape at all. It hasn't. It's still exactly the same shape that it was before I rolled it. So, what you talking about, Gordon? Come on. Right, then he rolls it, and I feel like I'm gonna have too much meat, aren't I? Too much ham. Well, I think it's going quite well up to now, don't you? he did roll his, so let's roll ours. So it's surprising how much bigger it looks once you get all the other stuff in there. I'm just going to get some more cling film so I can roll it up nice and tight. That should do, and then do what we did before. I could do with cling film that's a little bit wider. To be honest, it's a good job I didn't get the bigger piece of fillet, a longer piece of fillet, because it wouldn't have fit in my cling film anyway. So I'm presuming chefs, their cling film is probably a bit wider than ours. So we've got a nice round fat sausage. It's going to go in the fridge to get nice and cold, and then we'll come back in probably half an hour to put the pastry on, do the same again, roll it up, and then we'll put it back in the fridge. And then when it's ready to cook, probably when the guests arrive, I'll put it in the oven, because you don't want to spoil it by overcooking it, do you? So if you wait till your guests get there, then put it in the oven, you're not going to have to leave it in longer than it needs to be in. So we have our puff pastry ready. It's ready rolled puff pastry. This is the version from Aldi, and I know a lot of countries do actually have Aldi, so if you have an Aldi near you, try their pastry if you haven't already. It's really good. Right, now then, it's not very wide, this. And I don't think if I wrap it that way, it's not going to be wide enough either. So let's just practice and try, shall we? See what we can get. So this is my inners of my Wellington. I mean, obviously you need it to overlap, don't you? It's definitely not. I think you definitely need it to overlap, and this is what I was talking about. This is why I bought the ready roll, the other pastry to roll out. I think what I'll do is I'm going to have a go, and I'm going to steal some off this roll. Because that narrow beef Wellington I've got, I'll be able to put it on that way. And if I can steal some of this one, I can just add it onto the side all the way down here. Hey, I can make up some concoction anyway. So I'm going to rub about this much off this roll. I'll just get some water. Just wet this edge here. It's going well so far, darling.
Have you put them both together?
No.
How comes that's so big?
Yeah, well, this is what happens, you see, John. Once you get the mushroom and the prosciutto on, it grows. But my pastry, no, well, I said earlier, I bought this and I also bought a one that you roll out yourself because I suspected this wouldn't be wide enough for this roll. So I'm robbing some from your mum and dad's pastry and putting it on ours.
We'll just roll it out thinner. Take cling film off.
No, you've got to leave the cling film on. You cook it with the cling film on and then you take the cling film off while you're eating it.
Don't be so stupid.
You do! God, he thinks I'm stupid, doesn't he? How stupid do you think I am, darling?
Look, cling film and melt in the oven.
The cling film comes off first, darling. Then I'll roll the pastry around the prosciutto. I'm just using this to measure for now, making sure it's the right size, alright? Then I'm going to take off the cling film off this big fat sausage.
You said you were going to cook it with the cling film on.
I know, because you think I'm that stupid. Don't you?
I know you.
Don't you? So how am I going to work your mum and dad's pastry?
We'll get your rolling pin.
So this is your mum and dad's. And now that's not going to go around, so I'm going to have to steal some and stick it on here. Now watch this, John. Watch what I do here, John. So if I just do that and do that and then get my cup of water and go down this edge.
I don't know why I didn't just roll it thinner.
Well, it's already rolled, isn't it? We don't want it to be too thin. And then if I do this, John, look at that. It's like magic, isn't it?
What about
It's like magic.
What about the fancy pastry lattice, is it
I
called?
haven't done that yet. I'm going to do that. So I'm not doing the lattice, I'm doing the Gordon Ramsay version.
Oh, the easy one.
Well, I haven't got the lattice cutter. You need a special tool to do that. Now the only issue we could have is if this isn't sealed properly, we could have leakage.
Well, make sure that goes on bottom.
I will. So I'm just gonna do this here. And I'm going to do this here.
Should you not be using egg white?
Well, he did use egg yolk, but you don't need egg yolk to...
You're not going to get a brown crispy part there, are you?
You don't need egg yolk to stick a bit of pastry.
Stick a Brussels in for crack.
Now, oh, look at this other issue we've got here. The cling film's not wide enough, look. Right, so now I'm going to unroll this. It's going well so far.
What time is it?
Except for me mishap with the Vitamix. I don't know, that clock's not working. Right, so that's that. So we're going to take
His didn't look like that.
Well, his was maybe tighter. Well, it's there, look.
Did it?
Please, Benjamin. of any excess
Does
paste.
it look the same?
I thought he put some on it.
No. He did this. Ah, but he didn't have this on, did he?
No.
No.
Well, it'll be alright, you can roll it up.
Yeah, I can, can't I? Can roll it up. So, it's actually a bit long now, isn't it? So that needs
Well, yeah.
cutting off. And then I need to put some water on this bit.
You've got too much paste. You've overlapped now.
Yeah, but that's going to go on the bottom. It'll hopefully stop the bottom.
No. Yeah.
No, look at the bottom. That's the only overlap we've got, which is just like a sausage roll.
Yeah, but you've got like 3 inch of pastry on the bottom of it now.
No, I haven't. I've got 2 layers of pastry. If
Yeah.
there's no pastry, it'll leak and burst. Just trust me, darling. Now, how did he fold in the ends? Don't slap my beef Wellington. Because this needs to go back in the fridge
It's gonna be
again.
It's gonna be a £50 disaster, this, isn't it?
No. Now, how did he do the ends? He just sort of squashed them in, didn't he? Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm just squashing it in like that. And then I'm gonna... He didn't fold it up, did he?
You watched video, that was this morning.
If I do that, it might leak.
Well, fold it over.
Because we're just going to cut the end off,
Do it
aren't
like
we?
a Christmas present. Like that. Now get some sellotape.
Yeah, we don't want it to leak at all, because we'll just cut these ends off. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to wrap this in the cling film again.
Give Mother and Father ends for crack.
It's not looking very
It's alright.
round. So that's that one, back in the fridge. And then it'll come out before I put it in the oven. And that's when I'll score it and put some egg on it.
Now that one's going to cook faster.
Yeah, but that's the whole point, isn't it? We want your mum and dad's to be burnt in the middle, don't we?
Well, I'm not having blood running out of mine either. It's disgusting.
Well, you might end up having this one as well.
Well, what about you having that one rare? And we'll have the bigger one.
Well, the whole point is the big one and the little one can go in at the same time. One will be more well done than the other one.
Have you watered that?
Yeah.
I think you should have been watching video again because you didn't do anything like that.
I don't know can't remember what you did with the ends, but it doesn't matter. Nobody's getting an end, are they? This one looks better than the other one, but there's not as much meat in this one. Well, I didn't do that, did I? With the other one. So I bought some Australian red wine, crafted by the Casella family. I bought what I was promised was sweet red because I don't drink, I don't know anything about what's dry and what's sweet and blah blah blah. So there's no measurements on this this video for the sauce, so I'm just guessing by what he's pouring. I'm just guessing round about how much he's using, and I think he's put about 450 mils of red wine in his bowl. Now what he puts in next is some beef stock. Now I haven't got any beef stock, but I have got beef stock cubes, so I do like a bit of salt, so I'm going to put 3 stock cubes in there. And I'll put some water in as well, because he obviously has water in his stock, doesn't he? So it's not just a straight wine sauce that he's making. And then we're gonna need a bit of water in there.
Is that a cinnamon melty?
Hey?
Is that a cinnamon?
Yeah.
Strong, isn't it?
Very strong. Right, so that's just some regular tap water going in there. Now I'm going to put it on the ring, and we need some butter and some flour to thicken it up. So the next thing he did was he took some butter and he put it in a bowl, and then he took some flour, which I presume is plain flour. Again, I don't know how much flour he used, but then he mashed the butter in with the flour like so. I might actually put a bit more flour in there, just, you don't want to end up short, do you? It needs to thicken it to a certain consistency. You don't want a thin runny sauce, do you? So I'm just set the pan off now to get boiling away, get that wine boiling. And then when it's boiled, well, we'll boil it for a while. I don't know whether to put any pepper in it. So that's the Brussels sprouts ready. I just boiled them for 5 minutes because they're teeny, and just before serving I'm just going to fry those in a frying pan, make them nice and brown and crispy. And here we have that, just the wine, the water and the stock cubes simmering away, just trying to reduce those down somewhat. It's bubbling, I've got it on full, just so it will reduce down. I haven't added any of the flour and butter yet. I'll do that a little bit later on once it's reduced. It's better. It's a better egg. Nice orange yolk. wonder whether Gordon put a bit of milk in his egg. I've got my thermometer here. Apparently for medium rare, the temperature, the state needs to be 135 degrees. For medium, 150 degrees, so that's what I'll be going for. It doesn't say what well is, so I'm guessing another 15 degrees on top of that might make it well done. Well, I nearly missed that part out, so I'm just popping the egg wash on there. It's a real orange yolk, that, isn't it? I think that it's Browns of Burford. Now, they put salt on the top of theirs. I'm not going to, because everyone will probably say it's too salty. And I did sneak some salt and pepper into the mushroom. So I just need some fancy design on the top, don't I? And now I shouldn't be too bad at doing that kind of thing. I think Gordon maybe put a line down the middle and then he just got his knife and he curled it round like this. I think I might be pressing on too hard. He used the back of his knife actually. I'm scared now because I'm feeling I've probably cut too far into that. Then what should we do with this one? I think we'll just do some regular diagonal stripes all the way across. And it's ready to go in the oven. Right, fingers crossed. So what time is it now? That clock's not working. It's 25 to 5, so it's going in an oven at 220 degrees. Okay, so you can see that's boiled down quite a lot. You can see where the ring was and where it is now. So I think I'm just going to add so much butter at a time, because I don't want it to get too thick. And then what he did was, when it was done at the end, he took it off the boil and then he added a few knobs of butter once it was starting to cool down, and then just stirred that in gently. And then it feels pretty good there. But I'd rather it be a little on the thicker side than thinner. And because there's flour in that's flour and butter, it really does need to cook through, otherwise you just end up with a floury tasting sauce. Now what I'm going to do, I'm pretty sure that's definitely the right thickness, so I'm going to turn that right down to number 1 on the electric hob. And I'm pretty pleased with that. I just can't wait to see what it tastes like. I don't even know if I'll like it or anybody will like it, but gosh, I hope this video is not going to be too long. It's took me all day to make it, but I don't know how long the actual video will be. That's lovely, that. Gorgeous. Right. Okay, so this is our well done one. I shouldn't even be cutting into it yet, but I can't resist. Oh, it's well done, alright.
He's a little bit in.
Oh. Well, it's definitely well done. Please don't let the other one be that well done. It shouldn't be. It's spot on 150 degrees. Just cut it here, I think. Well, you need to see it, don't you? Let's cut it here. Oh, it's juicy. It's juicy. It's juicy. It's juicy. It's juicy. It's juicy, John. Okay, so that's our crispy Brussels and broccoli. This is the red wine sauce. I'll let you know later whether I liked it or not. We've got the sweet potatoes and just regular potatoes. And we've got some regular gravy. And there is our beef Wellington. Looking good, I have to say. Very, very happy. Now we just need to see what it tastes like.
All night, the sun